All right, so let's talk about the astrology of the week for the week of August 16th through August 22nd. Now, if you don't already have one, I have a PDF that you can download from my Patreon that has all of the cosmic themes so you can follow along and know exactly when these cosmic themes are happening. You can just go to patreon.com/the savvy luminary and you can download your PDF. I have them at different levels. And if you're a techie person, I also have them as an ICS file. So you can download this on your Google or Outlook or Mac calendars. Let's talk about the big thing that is happening next week, and that is the new moon in Leo. If you are watching this on YouTube, you will see that I'm sharing my screen, and you can see the chart of the new moon in Leo at 26 degrees. So if you know how to read your natal chart, I want you to look for the house in which 26 degrees of Leo exists. Okay, new moon in Leo is happening on August 18th at 7:42 p.m. Pacific, 10:42 p.m. Eastern. And if you are in Europe or in Australia, it's going to be happening for you on August 19th. Now, you know, new moons are absolutely my favorite time of month. My business is called New Moon Creative. That's the LLC that supports the Savvy Luminary. And new moons are a time of planting your seeds of intention. And so at the very beginning of the episode, I talked about how celebrations are like rituals, and it's our ability to tell the universe, thank you, right, for being grateful, for galvanizing this event in our life that we can ask for more of. And new moons are very similar. I love creating a ritual on new moons as we plant the seeds of intention in our business, in our life, or whatnot, because through this ritual of asking for support from the spirit, from the universe, for asking for creating space, like, you know, lighting a candle. You always probably notice that I have a candle during when I'm recording these podcasts, because guess what? I create a ritual every time I come onto a podcast, right before I record. Every day that I sit down for work, I create a space. I create a ritual space for me to work. And so creating a new moon ritual is really important when you're planting the seeds of intention, because you are telling the universe through ritual, the language that it can understand, that you want to bring something forth in your life and in your business. Now, I have a podcast episode, how to create a new moon ritual. I'll have the link to that in the show notes. So going back to new moon in Leo, we in general as a collective, if you don't know where new moon in Leo at 26 degrees is in your chart, it's okay. You can still create a general ritual about the Leo things you want to plant in your business, right? Leo is about purpose. A few episodes back, I talked all about Leo season, so you can review Leo season to understand more of the Leo themes that we are planting, right? It's about passion, it's about purpose, it's about vitality and living our life in like full creative, radiant expression, right? Leo is ruled by the sun. So of course, we're talking about energy and vitality. Leo is also a fire sign. So if you're just creating a general ritual, you'll be wanting to think about the seeds of intention that you want to plant so that you can bring creative vitality and purpose in your business. Now, wherever Leo falls in your chart, right, you need to look at, again, where Leo of 26 degrees falls in your chart, and whatever house it is in, that will give you an indication to specify your ritual. So in the show notes and on social media, I'll have a house by house activation for this new moon, as well as some questions. I'll also have a new moon worksheet in Patreon. It'll probably go up on Monday or on Tuesday. I'm sorry I won't be able to get it out exactly when this podcast drops, but I will let you know house by house where to focus in on your vitality in your business. Now, something really interesting about this new moon is that we have a lot of fire. We have the moon and the sun and Mercury all really close together. Well, of course, the sun and the moon are exactly on top of each other. That's what makes a new moon. And we have Mercury, our planet of expression, our planet of understanding and processing information, really nearby. So you'll also want to talk about when you're planting your seeds of expressing of your passion and your purpose, about how you will then also express that passion and purpose. Mercury wants to be included in this new moon ritual. And we have Mars trining this stellium of the sun, moon, and Mercury. And so gratefully, Mars is trining here because, right now, Mars is going to be squaring Pluto. Last week, I've talked about that intensity. If you've been following me on social media, I've been talking about the intensity and the frustration that can happen as Mars, our drive, our motivation, our activation, is squared with Pluto, the planet of transformation, of like deep, shadowy transformation, all the deep darkness things coming up to the light so that it can transmute, right? For some of us, it's feeling very intense. But for this particular new moon, Mars is in trine with the sun, moon, and Mercury, giving us a flow, giving us this energy of creative passion. So really use that day, use that day's wonderful energy to move about, get things done. You're going to feel really active. So again, head over to my show notes on thesavvyluminary.com and follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I have a free Facebook group, The Savvy Luminary, or you can find me on Instagram at New Moon Creative Co, C-O, all one word, and you'll see the posts that'll help you specify your new moon intentions by house activation. Oh, and a reminder, on Patreon at patreon.com/thesavvyluminary, I'll have your new moon intention worksheets for you sometime on Monday or Tuesday before the new moon. All right, so let's talk about the rest of the astrology. So next week, again, we've had a lot of energy. Mars is still going to be squaring Pluto for the next week, even though it's kind of falling out of orb. And Uranus went retrograde. I talked about that last week, but Uranus is asking us to awaken, asking us to evolve, asking us to really shake things up, right? And so for next week, those are just like themes that started last week that are still underlying. Those themes are undercurrents of our entire week coming up. On the 16th, both the sun and Mercury trine Mars, right? So we'll have a boost, again, similar to the new moon, right? This happens a couple of days before the new moon, but the sun and Mercury will be trining Mars exactly. And we're going to have this energetic boost, this energetic flow of really being able to express to others our purpose in our business. So if you're not super clear yet about your purpose or what brings you joy in business, spend some time that day journaling to get really clear on what you are here to do and how you are supposed to serve and live your joy. On Monday, the 17th, the sun conjuncts Mercury. So what that means is that the sun and Mercury will be at the exact same degree, meeting in the sky. And why this is so important is that because we are right in the midway point between the last Mercury retrograde and the next Mercury retrograde. Mercury is still in Leo. It's zipping through the sky. And it's going to be going into Virgo very soon, just on the 19th. I'll talk about that in a bit. But when the sun and Mercury meet in the sky in between a Mercury retrograde season, this is like when we are at our clearest, at our quick-wittedness. And because Mercury in Leo is about, essentially roaring, right? Expressing itself like the lion, make sure you are expressing yourself from your heart as well. On Wednesday, August 19th, we have Mercury zipping into its home of Virgo. So Mercury only spends a couple of weeks in Leo. It's at its fastest point, right? Between the retrograde seasons, Mercury is just like so fast. Mercury is traveling, from our perspective on Earth, sometimes it's like moving really slowly and sometimes it's moving really fast. And if you find a Mercury speed calculator, there are certain sites that allow you to figure out the speed of Mercury at the time that you were born. So if you were born around now, when Mercury is going really quick, you are quick-witted and always and probably also a quick speaker. For me, my Mercury was moving very slowly. It wasn't retrograde, but it was very slow at the time I was born. So normally I'm speaking very slowly. So on the 19th, on Wednesday, when Mercury enters Virgo, it's going to be back at home. Mercury loves being in Virgo. And it's at this time that we're going to start to get more analytical. We're going to start really reflecting and trying to reorganize our thoughts. Mercury is very, very, very happy in Virgo. So use this time while Mercury is in Virgo to maybe, look at some of the metrics of your social media to get a better understanding of posts that work, posts that don't necessarily work as well. Get a little bit more analytical with processing your information. And then on Saturday, the 22nd, Sun leaves Leo and enters Virgo at 6:45 a.m. Pacific. For our next podcast, I'll be talking about Virgo season. We've already talked about way too much today. So I hope that all of you have enjoyed learning about the 6 lessons we have learned from our 6-month anniversary. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this new moon in Leo that's coming up, and I would love to hear what you'll be doing for a ritual. And of course, if you want to really give me a gift for this 6-month anniversary, the perfect present would be to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher. All right, until next week, have a great one, everybody. Mahalo for listening to this brand new podcast. If you enjoyed learning about astrology for entrepreneurs, help me spread the word by sharing this podcast with your business besties, and hop over to the Savvy Luminary for links to episode notes and our free Facebook community where you can send me questions about astrology or branding, as well as connect with other like-minded businesses.